name's Rob Kauffman. I'm the RK and RK Motors, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to take some of the cars that we have here, at our facility and take them out and drive them and use them a little bit and put that up on the website so people can get a little bit more of a sense of how are these cars in the real world. And it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. So the first car I want to talk about is the 2012 Lexus LFA. That's really a unique car. It was a special car, a supercar run, really done by Lexus. It was a division of Toyota. Very limited production. I think there's only 300 in total, and of which there's 50 Nürburgring edition, which is a slightly higher horsepower, higher aero spec package. And that was the car that we drove a bit today. LFA is an awesome car to drive. I don't fly an F16, but it's probably the closest thing to flying an F16 on the street. One issue with the car in terms of using it is a Lexus, so the controls, the navigation system are a lot like a Lexus you'll see in your truck or regular street car. So in a way, it's very, very usable. Probably one attribute of it that some of the cars have it, this one doesn't, is it doesn't really have an electronic suspension. So the suspension is set to a relatively high performance level. So things like ground clearance and others, it doesn't really have. So even more so than some of the other cars, you really have to be mindful of speed bumps and things like that because it's kind of set for a track sort of height. And but if that's the biggest problem, we'll live with it. A lot of people ask me which car I like the best, and to me it's a little bit like asking which of your children you like the best. But I would say about the F40, that'd be the last to go. It was one of my first cars I bought. It's a fantastic car. I think it's an iconic car, and it's really cool to drive. And the sound of the F40 is unique. Probably the startup at sub-level is a little bit disappointing for people because of the turbos and the mufflers. It actually doesn't sound that ferocious when you start it. When it really starts to kick in is when those turbos spool up around 3,000 RPM or so, and you hear the wastegates open up and a whoosh out the back, and you get pinned to the back of the seat. I love cars and I like to use the stuff. So ornaments that just sit don't really do a lot for me. I really appreciate some of the really original cars and some of the real historic pieces that really can't be driven much. But for my own stuff, I like to drive the cars and use them. So I like things that are A, very usable, and B, I like to have things that are different. So, some having 17 of the same, of all different color of one year isn't really my kind of thing. I like old cars, brass era cars, pre-war, sports cars, muscle cars. I like a little bit of everything. So I maybe have a bit of eclectic taste. When I was little, I had dozens of little corgi cars and matchboxes, and the only difference between men and boys is the price of their toys, and I'm probably a pretty good example of that.